So before getting into this video, as a quick reminder that I will be covering some minor spoilers when it comes to the anime and the light novel. In my opinion, this is more just tidbits of bits and pieces of information, nothing too critical for the overarching story itself, but again, as a reminder that this will be some spoilers, minor as it is, but again, depending on the individual, you may not want to watch this video. So again, you have been warned. So of course, getting into this particular character, he very much fancies himself as a genius, an egomaniac, and one of the funny parts about him is that he mocks people for making very minor mistakes, or any type of mistake in general, ridiculing them, calling them stupid, yet he himself, when it comes to his attack formations, is quite predictable, especially in the light novels. Later on, he does become very predictable, and it's why I've always seen him as like one of the weaker villains in the overarching story, because as much as the story does try to make him more menacing, he doesn't feel that menacing. He just feels like a spoilt little child with a god complex and a bit of an ego drive, and that is something that's very prevalent in the story, is that he thinks he's invincible. He thinks he's omnipotent, all-knowing, as I mentioned, an egomaniac and a genius. And I think a lot of that is shown in the anime and, of course, in the light novels. But I think one of the things that I do like about what the anime has done in the two most recent episodes, and this is something I've mentioned, but I wanted to go into more detail, because this does entail him specifically in the light novels, particularly Volume 8, you don't actually really hear or see him. He basically disappears, and as much as, yes, he does interfere with breaking Raftalia and Shield Hero up as they enter into the portal to go into Glass's world, yes, he does separate them, but you never really feel much weight behind that. It doesn't really feel like he really did anything until the end, where he then does his information dump and goes, oh, look at me, I'm the big villain, I've done this, 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 and this, and then you're just kind of like, cool story, bro. You're defeated. The end. But what the anime has done is it's actually interjected him into points where he normally wasn't actually part of the story, and made him much more annoying and menacing. Now, of course, I still think he is, a wet noodle in the sense of comparing to other villains out there, particularly some that are much more manipulative. But overarching, he's been put in a bit more of a weighty position in the actual anime itself, and that's one thing I do like about the anime when it comes to him in particular, and of course Raftalia, and how they've rearranged some of those scenes. Now, as I mentioned, yes, he did interfere in the early stages in the light novel when you take away those changes, but it just didn't feel like it impacted as much. It just kind of felt, you didn't really feel it. There wasn't as much weight or gravity to it, which is why, again, I like the actual changes that the anime has done. Now, another thing to also note when it comes to him and his personality, he's very much of a gamer. Of course, he died in his previous world, and of course he was reincarnated into Glass's world. But the thing to note is that he has this way of talking where he uses gamer jargon, and particularly one good case of that is where he refers to the waves as updates. So he's very much, again, familiar with those kind of things. Another thing to also note is that he wasn't chosen to be a vassal weapon holder, and of course his vassal weapon is the book, of course, Captain Obvious there, but the actual vassal weapon itself does not actually like him. It actually, in fact, despises him, and is actually called out to other vassal weapon holders that have been, chosen to be that, to actually come and free the book and actually kill him. And that is one of the reasons why he actually doesn't have full control over the book itself, because of the fact that the book does not actually like him, and it actually despises him. Now, of course, when he first got transported to the world, he did, he helped people, he traveled around, he, came up with ways to solve different issues, but very much as time has gone on, he has used some of that influence that he's gained over people by doing favors for them, saving lives, as a way to manipulate and use them as nothing more than pawns in his little game that he sees this entire thing as. He sees this world, or particularly the world that he is in now, the world that he got transported to, which of course is Glass's world. He sees it as nothing more than a game, and all of the other people in the world are just NPCs that are there for his personal entertainment. So As you can see from his personality, he's very much of a charming individual, I say sarcastically. But at the same time, I do feel like in the light novels, he doesn't feel as menacing. He just feels like a spoiled child, stamping his feet, trying to get attention, and very much it kind of falls flat on his tush. While in the actual anime, they try to make him seem a little bit more annoying, a little bit more menacing. Not so much of a spoiled child, but a little bit more like he actually is a little bit more smarter than what he really seems. So again, it really just depends. It all is, based on opinions individually, but I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But of course, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more anime content, and I'll see you, beautiful nerds, in the next video.